G'day everybody and welcome to another episode of Banter over Whiskey. So tonight you've got the full crew. You've got Adrian at That Whiskey Place, you've got Vic at Vic.Whiskey and myself, Brad at Banter over Whiskey. And we're joined by Whisky Is My Jam, the man, Mark Teague. How's it going, Mark?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Brad. Thanks for having me on. I've been on live once before, I think, but it's the first time you've had a dedicated just me, which is lovely.
Yeah,
So
mate, you're
three and
able to
one.
hang shit on us whenever we see you.
No, never happens. Never happens.
Never, never.
Don't believe everything you read in the papers, mate.
Mate, we are happy to have you, and we've been trying to get you on, and things haven't lined up sometimes. I mean, you've been on a couple of times, right? You were on with John Jarvis once, and
Mhm.
then I think you were on for the Christmas one we did, right? So
Yes, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they were both sort of semi-live. I'm not sure if they were recorded and cut later. I hope this one will be.
Chance. No chance.
heavily edited to fix up my voice, actually. That's about it. So actually, you mentioned recently about Tas Whiskey Week this year being a little bit different. So how about you give us a rundown on that?
Sure. We try and mix it up a little bit every year. I've been involved now in the organisation for the past 4 years. But some of the changes this year is it has been extended. So we're actually going from the weekend beforehand through to the weekend of the Whisky Showcase. So that's from the 1st of August through to the 9th of August. So if you mainlanders haven't booked your tickets yet, you want to get right on top of that because it's coming up soon in the next few months, obviously. So in addition to extending the week itself to be a week and 2 days, we've got a launch event on the Saturday the 1st. The showcase itself has taken on a little bit more of a whiskey focus again this year. So it's been rebranded back to being the Whiskey Showcase. In the past, it's been the Spirit Showcase. And that's not to say there won't be some Tasmanian Whisky and Spirits Association members present who don't have other spirits. There always is. So there will always be a few white spirits around for friends or partners or whoever you're dragging along to the showcase on the Saturday that might not want to be able to stomach old whiskey all the time. So there will be something for everybody. But otherwise, this year's got around 16 events throughout the state. Generally, we design it for people who come over, say, on the boat or fly into Launceston, can hang around the north for the early part of the week and then make their way down. Of course, there are still events in Hobart early in the week, but it does lend itself to that sort of travel in that we have on the Monday night, I'll be hosting an event in Launceston at the Barrel Collective. I've done that for the last 3 years. It sells out super quick because it's a small venue. And then for the first time ever, we're going to Devonport, where eventually the new spirits will be landing and the current spirits land. And that's on a Tuesday night. And that'll be a Boilermaker night at the Island State Brewery there, where a friend of all of ours has moved on from his previous distillery and is now working, Mr. Craig Spilsbury, which no doubt you're both familiar with.
Yep.
So that should be excellent. Wednesday night, for the second year in a row, we're having a satellite Meet the Maker event over in Bicheno, which I hosted last year. And we've got a different host this year. So again, that travel down. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday is all about events in Hobart. But that said, like I said, in Hobart, there'll be events on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights as well. There's events everywhere for everyone. And they're all different sizes, hopefully different prices, so approachable for some people. There will be some events where you can buy a ticket for well under $100, whereas there are other premium events, for example, the Peppermint Bay Cruise, which is a day event on the Friday, always very popular. A raft of distilleries have an amazing lunch, go on the boat, which is great. So that'll be, again, we haven't had that for 2 years, so that's great. Meet the Maker, of course, in Hobart on the Friday night is always a big event, and that this year will be hosted by none other than Bill Lark with Jim Duckett from Hartwood. You're branding today, Brad, alongside him.
I am.
It'll be a great event. But the exciting thing is with Tas Whiskey Week is tickets will go on sale tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So you can jump on and see the program now. So you can decide what events you're really keen for and get in early, because many do sell out within hours, if not days, of going online. And we hate to see people disappointed. If something does sell out, though, please do still go and join the wait list, because there are occasionally cancellations and we can accommodate extra people at those events. And showcase is already on sale. And I know we did this the last time I appeared live from Malt Stock, but if you want a discount to the showcase and you are not, or you are currently a Whisky Club member, please do jump over to their website where you can sign up and have access to a 20% off code for the showcase, which gets it well under $100 for a ticket and is really probably best value festival ticket in Australia at that price for a free pour style event. So,
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's free to join the Whisky Club too, just quietly. So if you haven't, why not? Simple as that. If you haven't joined.
Sure Adrian's got a referral code somewhere for people if they want to get a freebie for signing up with his code somewhere too.
Yes, yes, I do, actually. Good point. Thanks, Mark.
That's all right. Yeah, so anything I missed? Any questions around Tas Whisky Week in general?
Gee, that was a pretty comprehensive rundown, mate.
I know. It's just...
Are they changing the name of it?
No, it's still Tasmanian Whisky Week. The only thing that's changed the name is the showcase.
Shouldn't it be Tasmanian Whisky Week and 2 days?
And Whisky Week in a bit.
Tasmanian Extended Whisky Week.
Next year it's going to be the Whisky Fortnight. Fingers crossed.
Well, like I said, at the moment, well, I'm not sure if I did say, but there are actual preview events happening on the mainland, the most ever. We've having 5 preview events. Distillers and producers are going up, present their drams. We have already had one at Whisky and Almond, and we had one, where's the second one? Oh, we've already had, well, the Brisbane one's on tonight at the Alliance.
Yep.
So probably a bit late to be getting along to that one. But we've still got 3 more. We've got one in Adelaide next week on Wednesday, Thursday nights in Sydney, and then the following week we've got another one in Melbourne at Casa de Vinos. And people who do get to go to those events get an exclusive QR code with a extra special discount to the showcase as well. So there's an incentive to go along, check it out, meet some distillers in advance, get in the mood, ready for August.
Oh, mate.
So good. I think Vic had a question there earlier. I cut him off. Sorry, mate.
No, I was just going to ask from an outsider's point of view. We have a lot of listeners. They have not been, not even to Tasmania. Just like a few years ago, I had no understanding of Tasmanian Whisky Week. I had no idea it was all over the island. I thought you go into Albert and that's it. But you do actually have to travel. So you have to travel you do have, my understanding is you do have a lot of events in Albert saying, but if you're not prepared to travel, you really need to check out the websites that you were talking about before and have a look, plan your week, because it's not that week that you can basically base yourself in Albert and everyone comes to you. It's not a whiskey show. It's not Whisky Live. It's Tasmania. So you have to travel and actually enjoy the wilderness and sightseeing.
Yeah, the travel, but it's encouraged, because some of the best events are the ones up in the north of the state. But if you can only make it down to Hobart and you want to station yourself there a week, that is an option as well for people who don't want to drive around or use public transport or whatnot. But there is transport available to get around the state, and you can drive across the state in less than a day, so it's not really an issue. And
I've done it. Is it tours?
So this is the most bus tours around distilleries we've ever done. It'll be 5 different tours throughout the week. There's 1 in the north and 4 in the south. Again, so you pretty much pay your fee. I honestly don't know what it is. It's around $200, I think, to go on the bus tour or thereabouts. And you get taken around 4, if not 5 distilleries, get lunch. It's all included. So that's another option as well if you don't want to be driving around and visiting distilleries yourself. Although, again, if you land in the north of the state and make your way south by various events, there's plenty of distilleries to stop along the way. There's a new website as part of the TWSA's push this year around a whisky passport that's coming out, and will sort of show you where you can go to, distillery tours. They've also got their existing Whisky Trail website. So there's plenty of places you can see. And I'm always happy to give advice on the best distilleries in what time and and sort of budget people have to go and visit, but plenty of options.
I'm going to put the three of us on, not yourself, Mark, obviously, but the three of us on the spot, including myself. Who's been to Tas Whisky Week?
No, sorry.
Yeah,
I think I was
didn't
working
think
that
so.
week.
No, I don't think. Well, I knew the answer before I asked, but the three of us haven't been. So,
No.
which is a little bit sad, I must admit. And I'm not sure it's going to happen this year either. So, we definitely need to get down there at some point.
Look, it's not going anywhere. It's gotten to the point where the showcase last year, we had 50 stands, I think, at the showcase on the Saturday. It was amazing, around 800 people. And we do a more modern approach for the showcase. I know a lot of shows still do their 2.5, 3 hour sessions with break in between. Because we have a token system where you're allocated sort of 20 tasting tokens and you're encouraged to pace yourself through the afternoon. We actually run it sort of from, I think it's 1 p.m. till 7 o'clock at night. And there's no rush. If the stand you want to go to is 3 people deep, you don't stand there and queue up. You just move on to the next one and come back to that one when it's a bit quieter, sort of thing. The last 2 or 3 years, I've been running what we've called the Ambassadors Lounge upstairs, which is just a little seated area for 20 to 25 people. And I've run a Q&A session for, say, 20, 25 minutes with various experts who've come and visited or been invited, brand ambassadors. And they have a special dram that they pour and speak to up there. And it just gives people the opportunity to get away from the hustle and bustle of the showcase floor. It'll be a slightly different format this year, but similar vibes. And there's food vans inside. It's right on the waterfront. It's a massive venue, PW1. It's fantastic. It's where they're having Dark Mofo and the Winter Feast's first night as we speak now, actually.
Wow. That's a big venue. So, and you'd need it for that many brands there. Holy cow.
Well, we've expanded the number of tickets again this year, so we're looking at over potentially 1,000 people during the session on the Saturday. So it'll be great. It always is good. It goes by surprisingly quick, despite the one big session, but really worthwhile. After parties, wherever they end up around Hobart, are always good fun. Everyone's behaved, of course, and looking after themselves and others.
Do you have discount codes for those after parties, Mark, by any chance? Is that something you've got to reach out to you for? Or
they're not. There's no ticketing for the after party. It's wherever you find the people who are cracking on. To be honest, there's 2 pubs in the waterfront close to PW1 that are always popular, and then venues like Rude Boy up in North Hobart, which is a very popular hospitality venue, is always very popular. Sadly, Gold Bar has recently closed on the waterfront, so people won't be able to visit there. But I'm sure we'll find some other places in and around that will be just as good.
I like Gold Bar. That's one place I had been to. Yeah,
fabulous selection of Tasmanian spirits. That said, the Still, which is run by Lark, which is at the moment renamed itself to Gotham. I'm not sure if that's sticking or if that's temporary for the Dark Mofo festivities. That obviously has an amazing selection it has the largest selection of Tasmanian whiskey on any back bar that I'm aware of in Tasmania. It's very impressive. So that's always a good option too.
Sure. And so you gave us a bit of a teaser earlier before we started, but this year there's some awards happening.
So really excited to have been involved in some of the planning of the Royal Agricultural Society of Tasmania's inaugural Whisky and Spirits Awards. And they're building it to last. The mainland Royal Agricultural Societies and variations have had Whisky and Spirits style awards and competitions for some years now, but sadly Tasmania hasn't had one in sort of perpetuity. There's been a few attempts over the years, but nothing sort of stuck. But they're really going all out this year and building it to last. And they've got the stewardship, the infrastructure. The Agricultural Society itself's been around doing shows for over 200 years in Tasmania.
Oh, wow.
And their premier competition, being the Hobart Wine Show, has been in existence for over 50 years. And we use the same logistics, infrastructure and stewards that they have available to them. for our own Whisky and Spirits show. And the show itself and the competition is sort of a hybrid combination of taking some of the best parts of some of the mainland shows, a little bit influence of some international shows, wherever we can find stuff to make it interesting, accessible. It's not expensive for producers to enter. Entries are currently open till the 21st of June, probably be extended by a week anyway. Just 2 bottles to enter of their commercial release, a little bit over $100 per entry to enter. And the prizes are phenomenal. Like, I've not seen any Australian awards that are like it. So for this inaugural year, there's a $10,000 cash prize for best whiskey judged in show. And there's a near $5,000 accommodation prize for best gin in show. So there's pretty impressive prizes on the line. There's about 9 of whiskey, about 13 categories of other spirits you can enter, and then there's trophies awarded for other things as well. Like the best Tasmanian whisky will get its own trophy, the best Tasmanian gin, best whiskey overall, and various categories, etc. So there's about 6, 7 or 8 trophies, and it's not limited to Tasmanian producers or mainland producers in Australia. It's to anybody who wants to submit. So it's not to say that our Tasmanian whisky might not be compared up against some Scottish or some Irish or another international if they choose to enter as well, which is great. So it's truly international.
What about bourbon?
Yep, there's categories for bourbon. Came to creating the bourbon category, I've sort of created one where it can be an actual bourbon, as in produced in America with their 51% corn, etc. Or in the same category, it can be an Australian style whiskey, like they make, for example, at Rosevears, at Turner's Stillhouse in Launceston, just in that vein. So they'd be in the same category.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're pretty optimistic. Entries will be good this year. Obviously, hopefully we'll go from strength to strength, but it's looking good so far. All the details are available on the website, the Royal Agricultural Society of Tasmania. I had the privilege of putting together the judging panel for this inaugural year, and I've managed to secure a gentleman by the name of Christopher Coates, who you may have heard from the UK. Up until recently, he was the editor of Whisky magazine, and was also one of the chief judges of the Whisky Awards. He's a really impressive young fellow with a great pedigree, and we'll be flying him in from the UK especially, head up the whisky judging. I have another international judge from New Zealand. So we've got Tash, who has actually been to Tasmanian Whisky Week in the past and written some journalistic pieces and had one of them published in the Whisky magazine. And Tash has agreed to be the chief judge for the other spirits. And it would be a Tasmanian Whisky Awards without a certain Mr. Bill Lark as our patron. And he's kindly agreed to be patron and give some guidance to the judging overall for the week. So that's a great honour as well, being Australia's own whisky godfather. And judging will be on the Tuesday and the Wednesday of Tas Whisky Week, which means we will know the medal winners before the showcase. So we'll have the opportunity for those who are exhibiting a showcase to have on their stand the medals that they've won from the inaugural awards, which is great. The actual gala dinner where we announce the trophy and overall winners won't happen till later in August, around the 27th. But it's great that we've timed it in such a way that we can have those medals potentially on display, and the producer will be able to talk to those winners as well.
Wow, super cool. And sorry, what sort of pool have you got to get those judges on the panels?
You tell me, mate. I just asked and was really happy that they said yes. And I've got a suite of mainland judges coming too, which I've probably heard of. Mr. Matt Bailey, you've had on this before. He'll be the judges. You may have heard of Kimmy Kim, who's a bartender at Whisky and Almond, won the Australian Whisky Malt Tasting Championships the last one. A certain Ross Blaney, previously of William Grant's brand ambassador.
Wow.
So sort of stack the deck as much as I can, but also have chosen judges that aren't necessarily working as a distiller or directly affiliated in selecting spirits. And I know that's hard to not have those people in the judging panel, but I just, because of some of the people I knew and was thinking about, I was pretty much able to select a bunch of independent, what I think are independent judges. And I've supplemented that with local judges that are both on and off premise in hospitality here in Tasmania to give that Tasmanian point of view. Yeah, it's a real good eclectic mix for the judging this year and hopefully for years to come.
It definitely sounds like a good mix, like it, and like sort of stuff you don't think about, you know, like that you don't want any bias or anything like that, but also you don't want somebody that's like the bias might be just what they do on a day by day basis, you know what I mean? Like if they're constantly tasting whiskey, maybe that would have some impact on their palate. So yeah. Well,
of course, everything's tasted blind, and the stewards and the way that they assemble what you taste is very, very refined in how that all works. But you're absolutely right in that I understand for some of the mainland awards, because of the association with specific brands and the distillers that often are judges have to segregate them out from tasting certain areas in order to avoid them potentially tasting their own stock and that sort of thing. But hopefully that won't be an issue given the judges I've selected for, recommended and they've been selected for the inaugural event, which is really exciting.
I just realised we've been going a little while and we haven't had a whiskey yet. Well, I mean, we've been drinking whiskey, but we haven't talked about it. Who's to go first? What's in people's glass?
I've just finished a glass of the. I'm on the Warbs tonight. Big for the Warbs, so I've got some of their Port Royal, and because I am just having a cigar, as people can see, maybe not perfectly with the type of cigar that I have, but definitely, I believe it's sold out within hours, if maybe minutes. I don't know, but definitely. Warbs, if you haven't tried it yet, just again, why not? Just do it. But I've moved on to I've just cracked their Maritime Sherry, Apero and Bourbon Cask at 52%. So you saw me struggling trying to open it just then? No, nobody saw anything.
So I actually do have the very bottle that I used for my cigar matching video for the Warbs people. They very generously sent me a bottle of their Port Royal, and I did a little matching video and recommendation for some cigars. Because for those who know my background before getting into whiskey appreciation, my family were generation tobacconists and had the longest standing tobacconist here in Tasmania, established in 19.
Oh wow!
So I've always had an interest in cigars, particularly. Travelled to Havana. In my youth, travelled around there 5 weeks, visited various factories, and they've just got that Epicurean pursuit around cigars, and it's probably what led into whiskey later in life, to be honest.
Because they go so well together, whiskey and cigars. It's just so good. So the Port Royal, if you can find it, I believe there may be some retailers that still have it, but yeah, definitely grab it. In the meantime, I've just moved on to the Berry, which I've just cracked because I've got a few Warbs there, and I thought, bugger it, why not just crack one? There's no time like the present.
Very cool. Vic, what about you?
Ooh. I've got one of my favourite. This could well be my favourite Tasmanian distillery. The Went. You can't see. Oh wow, the old. You can see it. I've got the French morning, which I bought at. Big fan of Robbie and Em, two of my favourite Tasmanian people. This is tried the Went. Forget about all other brands. Give it a go. You'll be pleasantly surprised. And if you go to whiskey shows, whether it's Whiskey Live or the Whiskey List, Whiskey, Whiskey Capital, anything, Tasmanian Whisky Week, go and meet Robbie, you will not find a more static. What would you describe it? Describe Robbie.
Enthusiastic.
Passionate.
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could
Fellow
bottle,
cigar lover.
it's amazing. Yeah, it's full of chocolate. It's got the spice cake, everything you would expect on a podcast or a tawny cast as this one is. And the color's amazing. It's really dark, copper, rusty, and so much flavor. So I was thinking, because I forgot the ABV and I wanted to check the ABV, but I was
Have a
so
guess. Have a guess
listening to you
before,
guys. Oh,
you read it.
this will be in the 50s or late 40s, but it doesn't drink like it. That's why I was so inquisitive about it.
Around 47 or something, I think, isn't it?
46. So much
Oh,
flame
wow.
out of 46%. No way. Well, there you go. The best 46% in Australia, not the world, to me. It's great. I bought this bottle, purchased it. So, yeah. Quick question. What's your cigars? What are your favorite cigars
Uh,
at the moment?
So, well, if I had to go overall, my most favorite brand of Cuban cigars are Ramon Alones, and that's a historical thing because they're some of the oldest I have. So I inherited the humidor from our shop, a big freestanding custom humidor we actually made here in Tasmania out of West Australian Jarrah, old with Spanish cedar, and that was our display cabinet in the shop. And I've got that in my garage now. And the oldest cigars I have are some Ramon Alones box pressed cigars that were owned by my grandfather and were probably, I've not double checked the box code recently, but I'm pretty sure they were manufactured in the 70s. So that makes them some 50 odd years of aged in a humidor cigars. And I've probably got about half a box of those left. Pollo de Monterey is another favourite of mine. But you really can't go past some classics like the Romeo Juliet at Churchill and stuff. But the issue, I get older, I'm better at tailoring my cigar choice to the amount of time you've got available. So even though the bigger, longer cigars, of course, are more impressive, more expensive as well, more and more I find myself gravitating towards some petite or short robustos or something that you can comfortably smoke in 30 to 60 minutes with friends, especially down in Tassie. I always seem to find that I'm smoking cigars in the middle of winter or something like that. It doesn't seem to be in summer. So, or, after between poker games or something like that. So I really do try and tailor it to the time I've got available. Or if I'm hosting a masterclass somewhere, the audience and what they can spare. So, yeah.
I know I own cigars, and there's a couple of Adrian and I at the moment that I really like, but I know next to nothing. I need to talk to you about cigars. And Vic knows a bit about cigars too. He's been smoking cigars for a lot longer than I have, but yeah, it's fascinating.
Like a 101 when I do sort of masterclass, and I combine it maybe with, I take the opportunity to serve a cigar malt, so something like the Warbs port of it, but obviously up until that, mostly Scottish releases of cigar malt, famously the Dalmore cigar.
The Dalmore, yeah, that sounds like another to me, Mark.
Yeah,
it does.
I recently, it's funny that Vic mentions Derwent, Robbie. We met up with Robbie a couple of weeks ago, and we had the Penelope malt that they had. I cracked that as well, and yeah, with Robbie and Brad and a couple others. Yeah, so that was a really good night as well. So a Penelope bourbon cigar blend, which was good. I'll have to send you a sample, Vic, or I'll give you some when you're up here next time I see you.
I'm getting that. I'm not sure if you can buy it in Australia now. It went pretty quick. It was very popular in the States too. Yeah.
I bought it locally, so it was a part of a deal that came out of one of the online retailers there. So it might be available. If not, Mark, happy to send you a sample. So it's all good.
Very cool.
Nobody misses out, mate.
Nah, definitely not. What about you, Mark? What are you drinking?
Well, didn't want to be put on the spot and choose a single Tasmanian distillery, to be honest, because I try and show them all love. I host my main up in Launceston, and I'm sort of about 2/3 of the way through maybe the 45 Tasmania distilleries that have produced whiskey. coming and showcasing some drams at my event. So, but the back end of my event, for those who are unaware, like they'll come and have 1-2 whiskies, we'll have a break and some food, and then I'll always move on to a distillery of my choosing, from somewhere else around the world, usually some vague affiliation to the Tasmanian. It might be tenuous, but it'll be there. But I always finish the night on a Scotch Malt Whisky Society dram. So
Nice.
thought I'd best grab one of those out and see if we can get a bit of a pop going here.
Yeah, it was there.
This bottle's my wife's, so hopefully she doesn't hear me in the next room that I'm stealing some of her whiskey. But it is a fun. This code is distillery number 64, and in the society it's known as the rhyming code. And that's because the distillery rhymes with the number 64.
Oh, okay.
I'll be very somebody can tell me the distillery name.
I've got a guess.
Yeah.
Delmore.
It's very close. Not down.
Uh.
No, it's a hidden distillery.
Oh, okay.
In that most of the single malts go into blends, and they don't actually really have their own original bottling from this distillery. And it really properly rhymes with 64. It's sort of that many syllables as well.
That's one for listeners.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Google that.
Google it.
You can download the app now to see all the codes and everything. It's updated as soon as new ones are known. You can do them by name rather than code, and it lists them all. It's a guy in the States who maintains it.
Very cool.
How do you pronounce 64 in Scottish?
in Gaelic.
64.
Gaelic.
Got to roll your R's, Vic.
But this is a lovely, lovely dram. In what is now the defunct deep, rich and dried fruits flavour profile, they've just changed from 12 flavour profiles to 8, and they've just launched that in Australia. But this is an ex-bourbon into a first fill, ex-bodega, PX Barrique, and 15-year-old in total. Very nice.
Oh, my goodness.
Sadly sold out now, but there's always some coming along.
Your turn, Brad. Now that you're lost for words.
Sorry, that's your wife's bottle.
Yeah, she attended.
Is that because you wouldn't open yours?
She attended an event and was so impressed with that she bought one on the night and had it delivered. No, it was literally because it was right next to where I'm sitting, and B, because then I could tell the rhyming story on the distillery name.
Nice.
Very cool. Very nice. I've actually been sitting here on a side by side, because I've got the first 3 releases of Huntingfield.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's very different. Wow. But like there's 2 bourbon or ex-bourbon casks. And then the first release, I believe it's the first release, is a port cask. But the second is ex-bourbon, but it doesn't drink like a bourbon cask whiskey. And the colour of it.
Is that the cask strength, Brett?
Yes. No, actually.
One of the early bourbons was pretty high up there in ABV, I think.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, that's on this one, maybe. This one's 50.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
left some high ones. So
it has, yeah.
I'm kind of lucky. I'm very lucky in the involvement I have in whiskey generally, but I do from time to time get asked to give feedback on whiskies that have been assembled pre-release and give some tasty notes. And a couple of those I might have got to try before they were bottled.
Very cool. Very cool. In fact, I may have too. I must admit, because I just happened to be there at the right time.
Well, the stuff that White Label are now doing is really good quality, really consistent, to the point where they have over half a dozen brands that they now supply contract distillery whiskey to. Obviously, Huntingfield's in-house one, but there's a few other ones which are fairly transparent about supplying, I believe. So it's not a secret, but they supply for Waters, the brand of the V8 supercar team. They supply for Moth, a relatively new one down here in Tassie, which has got some really cool labelling. I think they supply whiskey for Island Spirits with Kirk. Like I say, over half a dozen now that are white label sourced. But I think it's just because they allow people to have that control and that involvement and everything with the creation and maturation of the whiskey that people feel affiliated and happy to create their own brand from it, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's incredible the facilities they've got. So any type of whiskey you want, they can make it. So yeah.
Well, they passed. Well, I think they still do the wash for Damien and Mads at Holland.
Yeah.
In the past, there's some wash for Johnny Holton at Transportation, and I meant to mention those two because historically, creating wash for still whiskey is harder, obviously, than 100% malted barley for a single malt. Takes more to mash in, etc., and to activate it. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, nice. Well, we've gone for a little while. But I don't know, Adrian, do you guys have any other questions?
Yeah, just don't do what I've done in past years. Go on the website, the distillery's website, your favourite ones, and have a look what they've got released for Tasmanian Whisky Week, because most of them have it on the website for sale already. And if they don't, they will have it soon, and you will not miss out, especially if you don't go to Tasmania, because you'll be kicking yourself silly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that I'll hard way. Yeah. So go on and get those releases because they're usually the best release that the distillery will release that year. If not, agree? What do you think?
Top tip there from
good point.
And it's the same at the moment, being Dark Mofo here. And a lot of distilleries have released a Dark Mofo related whiskey. Hellier's Road released today and it's sold out in under an hour online. So it's only going to be available for some retail stores.
Sully's had their witchcraft.
Yeah, so they didn't do their Witch's Brew last year and they've done it this year, and it's only available to buy from the cellar door. You have to be at the cellar door to be able to purchase it, and there's only something like 300 bottles. And a good for Sullivan's Cove at $400 at around 51% or something. And it's all highly collectible, as well as being a good dram. Kalara are at Winter Feast with their own Winter Feast release. Battery Point are at Winter Feast with their own Winter Feast release. I think Callington Mill there, not sure if they've got a release, especially for the Winter Feast. But yeah, there's Winter Feast releases out at the moment. Robbie always puts out, I can never pronounce the way Robbie pronounces. It's the one that begins with C. I think it's some sort of Gaelic god or something or other it's named after out at the moment.
Come on, give it a go.
Crikey.
Clark or something. He pronounces it differently. But yeah, Vic's right. It's the same with Tas Whisky Week. They really do push the boat out, get some special releases happening. Again, some are available on the website, some are only available in person. It varies from Tassie to distillery.
Yeah, great idea.
Wow. Good call, Vic. Very good call.
I have to jump online now. Oh, man.
I'm supposed to be good this month.
Yeah, whatever.
It never happens.
Somebody said the other day, that's quitter talk.
Yeah, I know. Tell me. I got chastised for that.
Yeah.
So quick question. Obviously, see you both at the expo a few weeks ago in Queensland, which was great to be up there and to enjoy the Queensland Malt Whisky Society Expo, which they only do every few years. So that was a privilege. Is anyone going to live this weekend?
Yeah, so I'm going to be there. I'm actually going to be there on a stand for.
Oh, great!
And there's a reason behind that, Mark. So thank you for asking. The reason I'm doing that is because we're going to be at Whisky in July. The three of us, we're going to be pouring. We've got a table, and we're going to be pouring for a few distilleries that can't make it up to Brisbane for whiskey. And Coro is one of those. So I'm going along and I'm going to learn from the master himself, Mr. Dean Druce, about Coro whiskey. Yeah, we're going to be pouring at Whisky, basically. So come on and see us.
Great.
And Whisky Murray as well. We'll have a guest appearance there as well. So yeah, come and say we'll be floating around. It's always good to meet our 3 listeners. So, yeah, I keep
Yeah,
saying 3, but we all know.
I was going to be in Corowa.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but we'll be on there. Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to be to the last 2 whiskies, and they were really enjoyable, good fun there in Fish Lane. Sadly, I'm double booked and can't make it up this year. Yeah, but maybe one day make it up there as well. Yeah, obviously great events and should really show support, get along. If you don't show support of those sorts of events, that's top. So you have to go.
Are you really a whiskey fan if you don't go to such events? That's what I can say. So
it's but it's fun. Like whiskey is like distilleries are like they're developing different and all that sort of stuff. So like if you're not going to those, you're not trying any of those, and there might be a whiskey that you've avoided in the past because we've all got but they'll turn it and you'll be missing out. You're doing yourself a disservice. So get along.
And there's an event for everybody. So last weekend I was privileged to host a Tarraleah here in the Tasmanian Highlands at the lodge, our premium event. It only has 20 people, but that's all the lodge fits. And there's an amazing whiskey library, and I had 3 premium Tasmanian brands present, and the Scotch Malt Whiskies and Whisky Club presented, which was great. But whilst that's a expensive event, you can get along in, say, November to Whiskey Abbey. You're only paying $50 to get in the door, and then you just pay for the drams that you want to drink on the day. So there's a budget for everybody when it comes to whiskey events. So there's really no reason not to make effort and get along.
Exactly right. You'll find one within your budget range, and you'll be able to try some whiskies that you probably haven't tried before.
You'll also find one in your neighbourhood as well. So if you can't make it to Tasmania, for example, there's always ones like Vic mentioned whiskey capital there before, which is Canberra. Brisbane's starting to show up at the moment. Sydney's always got some. So Melbourne, the whole lot. So yeah, if you can't make it, just sit tight and one will come to you eventually.
Eventually. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you coming on. We it doesn't help, but
absolutely
we will get you on about cigars, I'm sure. And Vic, thanks, mate. Adrian, thank you. As everybody at home, thank you for listening. We always appreciate it. And until next time, actually, before I do that, Mark, what's the website? What's the contact details for if they're looking to enter the Whiskey and Spirit awards? Where do they get?
So that's on the Royal Agricultural Society's webpage or any of the social media. They all have links. And then with Tas Whisky Week, it's the standard Tas Whisky Week website. And again, the socials and everything have links for that. Tickets available on Humanitics where you can follow along as well.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. And yeah, okay. And catch a couple of whiskey shows coming up. But thank you for listening. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.